What if you woke up to the sound of rockets raining down on your city? A chilling question that became a terrifying reality for the people of Israel recently when they were subjected to a surprise attack by Hamas from the Gaza Strip. The day started like any other, but soon turned into a scene straight out of a war movie. Thousands of rockets, enough to darken the sky, were launched from the Gaza Strip, raining down on unsuspecting Israeli communities. The immediate impact was devastating. Buildings crumbled, homes were destroyed, and lives were changed forever. Amidst the chaos and confusion, a horrifying fact emerged. Israelis were being held hostage in several communities. The numbers paint a grim picture. At least 160 Palestinians were killed, and over 1,000 wounded in the initial onslaught. But the damage wasn't limited to the Palestinian side. Approximately 40 people were killed in combined terror and rocket attacks. The situation took a more sinister turn, as there were growing concerns that some Israelis may have been forcibly taken to the Gaza Strip. This is not just an attack, it's an abduction, a hostage situation on a massive scale. This has left the Israeli authorities and the international community grappling with a complex and dangerous situation, with the lives of innocent civilians hanging in the balance. The Israeli Defense Forces, caught off guard by the scale of the attack, responded with airstrikes. Yet, the question remains, how do you negotiate with those who use terror as a bargaining chip? The British Foreign Secretary didn't mince words, labeling Hamas as terrorists. The EU's Foreign Affairs Chief called for the liberation of hostages and negotiations, but amidst the political rhetoric, the people of Israel continue to live under the shadow of terror, their lives disrupted, their sense of security shattered. In the face of such a devastating attack, it's hard to imagine how the people of Israel are coping. But cope they must, for resilience is the only option when faced with an unfolding tragedy of this magnitude. When tragedy strikes, how do nations respond? This question is now more pertinent than ever in light of the recent catastrophic events in Israel caused by a surprise attack from Hamas. The response has been swift and decisive, but also fraught with complexities and consequences. In the immediate aftermath, Israel's defense forces retaliated with a series of airstrikes. While these actions were intended to quell the violence and protect Israeli citizens, the consequences were severe and widespread. Palestinian casualties rose into the hundreds, with over 1,000 wounded. Lives were lost, families torn apart, and communities devastated. The international community, too, was quick to voice their stance. The British Foreign Secretary did not mince words, labeling Hamas as terrorists. This strong condemnation underscores the severity of the attack and the urgency of the situation. The European Union's Foreign Affairs Chief was also vocal, calling for the liberation of hostages and the initiation of negotiations. This plea for diplomacy, amidst the chaos and violence, speaks to the hope for a peaceful resolution. Yet the path to peace is often complicated and fraught with challenges. Across the Atlantic, the United States pledged support for Israel's defense. The U.S. Defense Secretary underscored the importance of safeguarding Israel's sovereignty and security. This affirmation of support underscores the strong ties between the two nations and their shared commitment to combating terrorism. Meanwhile, amidst the international outcry, calls for negotiations were echoed. The desire for a diplomatic resolution is clear, but the path to achieving it is fraught with challenges. The complexities of the conflict, coupled with the urgency of the situation, make for a delicate and precarious balancing act. As nations rally to respond to this crisis, the stakes are high. Lives hang in the balance, and the potential for escalation looms large. Amidst the chaos and the heartbreak, the world watches, waits, and hopes for a resolution. The world watches as nations rally to respond to this crisis. In the aftermath of such a catastrophe, what does the future hold? The echoes of this question reverberate in the minds of those witnessing the tragic events unfold from afar. The attack's potential long-term impacts are vast and far-reaching, spanning the political, social, and humanitarian spectrum. Let's consider the fears of a prolonged hostage crisis. It's a chilling prospect that sends a shiver down the spine of every Israeli, every parent, every spouse. It's a scenario that holds a nation hostage, not just those in the literal grip of the captors. The uncertainty, the fear, the powerlessness, these are the invisible chains that bind a society in the wake of such an attack. Yet amidst this grim reality, the world is not silent. Calls for the condemnation of Hamas and its backers are ringing out from all corners, a symphony of solidarity that refuses to let terror have the final word. From the British Foreign Secretary labeling Hamas as terrorists, to the U.S. Defense Secretary pledging support for Israel's defense, the world community is taking a stand against these acts of terror. But beyond the immediate response, the attack has potential to shape political and social landscapes both within Israel and globally. It's a stark reminder of the fragile nature of peace and the ease with which it can be shattered. It's a wake-up call for the international community, urging them to rally against the forces that seek to disrupt the delicate balance of our shared world. It's a call to action, a plea for unity, a test of our collective resolve. Yet amidst the chaos and uncertainty, one thing remains clear: the resilience of the human spirit. The Israeli man who reported his missing family, his wife's phone geolocated in the Gaza Strip, embodies this resilience. His story, and countless others like it, are testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity that rises even in the face of unimaginable adversity. In times of crisis, it's our collective response that defines our humanity. As we watch the events unfold in Israel, our hearts go out to those affected, and we stand with them in their fight for peace. Let these words not just be a closing statement, but a call to action for us all.